It's mail time.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing today, Jay Tyler?
What's going on, brother? Peace and blessings to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to another episode of Mailbox Monday, the place to get all your career questions answered every Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Since we do have people international, we have to make sure that we stress that. Once again, if you're watching the show, please hit that like, subscribe, share button. Hit that bell. To get the notifications as well. We also look if you want to join us on the show to talk about some of the questions. To provide your expertise, we're going to put the link in the comments for you. Just click that link, and you come right on into the show. And share your knowledge, right? Share your share your expertise with your viewers. All right. So what do we got today, Jay Tyler?
Well, first and foremost, everybody who's coming today is going to watch this on a replay. Peace and blessings to you. We appreciate you checking out what we got to offer on our Mailbox Monday. Today is a interesting question, and definitely something that we all know, but we all don't really think about, on this basis. And I'm glad that this sister actually presented this question to us at Mailbox Monday. Mailbox Monday at mercercountyworks.com. You can always email us your questions there. We're going to get into this question, Dunk. And the topic of it, as you may be able to see on the screen, will be what's your worth being Black, qualified, and underpaid in the workplace. So this is a very good question. We should definitely get right into it, Dunk. What do you want to say before we jump in to help this lady with her question?
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's. I mean, look, I'm just interested here at the question. So I think let's just get right into it.
All right, let's go.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. All right. So here's the question, dear Duncan and Justin. First, I want to say that I appreciate your Rise and Grind show and the Mailbox Monday segment. Hey, we appreciate you as well. Thank you for that shout out. She said, I do have a workplace issue that I want to share. I don't know what to do about this situation because I don't want to complain, but I'm a Black woman that is qualified, experienced, but underpaid. I've been in my company for 5 years and have done well on my performance evaluations based on my manager feedback, but my salary has not gone up and I have been passed up for 2 promotions so far. Wow. I discovered that I was underpaid because my friend, a former colleague and manager at that same company, slipped up and mentioned the salary range for my role. I didn't say anything at that time, but I am definitely on the low end of that salary range. What should I do? How do I get the value that I deserve in my workplace? Really looking forward to your advice. From Amani R. What do you think, Don?
I think that's a really good question, especially when we talk about really not getting getting paid what you're worth, right? Especially in today's climate, there is definitely such a thing called the black tax, right? Where we say Black people, especially here in America, I don't know how it's like for you in other countries, but when it comes to housing discrimination, healthcare inequities, food deserts. So there's definitely a tax on being Black, as well as the lack of unemployment, as well as high unemployment rates for individuals in urban areas and or urban communities. And so I think this is definitely a very valid question.
Yes.
My first question to it was Amani?
Yes, Amani.
My first question to, Amani would be, well, do you know specifically, how do you know specifically that you're being paid less, than your counterparts, right?
That's a good question.
And so one thing I would never do is really, compare my value to somebody else's, right? So, I would never, if I'm making 50,000 and, Joe Harris is making 60,000. Well, I would never say, well, just because Joe Harris is making 60,000, that I need to be making 60,000, right? Because maybe I need to be making 70,000, right? So the first, the first and foremost thing you want to do is know what your value is, right, and stand on that value, right? The second piece, really to that is to do your research, so there are so many avenues and outlets, out there that you can actually look at to kind of know, where your salary should be at, whether it's glassdoor.com, salary.com, you can
Hmm.
go on Indeed. So really look at, the different positions that are within your field and look at that range, right? And that should kind of give you a very good gauge of, where you should be at as far as, your salary goes. And I always say, if you're going to pick a salary, pick the top of the range, right? Because you want to look at yourself as the best of the best, that you are qualified. Now, you don't want to get cocky, right? You don't want to, you don't want to get,
Right.
taken away. But
Right.
you want to look at yourself as being the best of the best. But with that though, you have to make sure you're able to walk the walk, right? So don't go lying on your resume. Don't go spouting off, that you're expert in Excel, but you don't know how to use some of the formulas in the Excel sheet, because you'll be stuck,
Hmm.
you know, uh, crying at the desk. And
Right.
so the third piece of that, and then I'll hand it back over, and you can come back to me, Jay Tyler, is
No
that I
problem.
think there's two things. One, you want to prepare one sheet, right, that kind of lays out, your
Hmm.
value, as well as
Good point.
the specific data that goes with the position or title that you're looking for, and then
Hmm.
also hire someone that can help you put that one sheet together, right? So an expert in that field of salary
Like
negotiation.
me.
Yeah, right.
Just
Like
like-
Jay Tyler, right?
right.
That can
Right.
help
Right.
you go in to negotiate that salary and kind of give you the
Right.
game plan before you actually go in. Because I think what happens is that most of us say, we have a set number in mind and we go in without a game plan, and when
Hmm.
it doesn't happen, then you have a problem. And I think also, and I do want to say this because I think it's very important. Never go into a salary negotiation, with your troubles, right? So when I say with your trouble, because I've heard it before, and
Hmm.
it's sometimes it blows my mind. Well, somebody say, well, why do you want more money? Oh, because
Hmm.
my bills went up. Well, I don't know if that's necessary. The company's problem. We empathize, right? The company wants to empathize with you, right? We understand that bills go up, but what are you doing to manage those bills? And so, and then what happens when your bills go up again? Does the company have to pay? Give you another raise because of that, or we have to come back to the salary negotiations. So please, once again, don't go into a salary negotiation with your troubles. Don't go in there talking about the past, but talking about what you can do for the company
Hmm.
moving towards the future.
Definitely. Dunk, I've seen a lot of people actually do that, go in there with their troubles,
No, definitely,
and,
I've heard it.
and it leads to trouble. So, yeah, it just never comes out the way that you want it to, unless you're like a superstar. You know what
Right.
I mean? If you're a superstar and you're super valuable to that company, you can get
Hmm.
away with some things, but for the average person, I would never recommend going in there saying anything about that. Just keep it business. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, great stuff, Dunk. I'm gonna break it down from my standpoint as well. I do have some statistics that I want to just bring to the forefront. So here's some stats that I looked up about Black women and the pay equity or non-equity that's
Hmm.
in the workplace. So number one, it says Black women have to work 8 additional months to achieve pay equity with white men.
Hmm.
So that's interesting. 8 additional months just to achieve the pay equity with white men. Second stat that I saw that I thought was very interesting. So, according to SurveyMonkey and LeanIn.org, Black women
Hmm.
are paid 38% less than white men and 21% less than white women. Okay, so
Wow.
that's the second stat that I pulled up as well. And I have one more for the trifecta, right? One more.
Okay.
In Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, over the course of a 40-year career, a Black woman is estimated to lose $2 million because of the wage gap. This is according to the National Women's Law Center. So,
Wow.
over the course of a 40-year career, they will lose $2 million just because of the wage gap. Interesting. What do you think about those stats, Dunk?
Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely give a wow factor, right?
Yeah.
$2 million is definitely nothing to play with. But when we also look at the disparities, between black women, and white women, I think that's so,
Hmm.
and white men, shall we say?
Hmm.
I think that it's really just astonishing, and it's something that
Yeah.
when we talk about pay equity, diversity, equity,
Hmm.
inclusion, and justice, that these are some of the things that we look at, that we really need to take a hard look at and
Yeah.
put some policies in place to really to overcome that.
So yeah, so that's what the first thing I did, just look at some stats, because I know what Amani's
Mhm.
saying is true, but I just really wanted to see for myself in terms of the numbers, right? So
And and
now,
and I'm sorry,
yeah,
Jay Tyler, because
mhm.
and I know you're a basketball fan just like I am.
I am.
And so just really to bring this up, so there was and I can't remember the young lady's name, but
Hmm.
they did a comparison of there's a woman in the WNBA, and she had her stats were more championships, more rings, more
Hmm.
assists, triple doubles, and they
Yeah.
compared her to LeBron James, right? Whose
Mm.
stats were less, but who where she had been maybe making $200,000 a year, and LeBron James was pulling in $200 million a year. So when
Hmm.
you look at the stats overall, she was a better player,
Yeah.
um, but LeBron was making a significant amount more money than she was, and I think so. I think that these are definitely some of the inequities that we're
Hmm.
talking about.
Yeah, and those women often have to go play in another league to make the money
Right.
that they want to make. So they have to go to Russia, other places after their WNBA season. So a
Hmm.
lot of these women are playing basketball all year round, right? So
Hmm.
they're more susceptible to injuries, right? And they really have to make a decision about if they want to, start a family versus not, because they're going to miss seasons and pay, right? Most of the time, if they do start a family. So something very interesting to know as well. So that's a good one. I did see that earlier, and that's maybe another
Hmm.
discussion another time.
Right.
So I want to go into more some of the things that maybe Amani could do to really
Hmm.
help out her situation. So I think the first thing is just negotiate always on the front end. When you come into a company, this is the best time to let them know your worth. And
Right.
so if you do have leverage, you do have some experience and skills, especially if they recruited you, this is your time to ask for what you're looking for. Now,
Hmm.
ask reasonably, but like Duncan said, ask on the high end of what your position entails for that industry and for that region. Okay.
Hmm.
So even if the company protocols or the norms, it flies against that, still ask. Because if you don't look out for yourself and fight for yourself, then don't expect anyone else to do the same. Okay. So make sure you always fight on the front end. And then on the opposite spectrum of that, when you're asking for a raise, just do your research. Know what the low end is, the middle, and the high. Do a self-assessment of your professional value, and then see if this company can make that happen for you. You're just
Hmm.
asking. They say no, so what? They say no. It's not a problem at all. Don't take it personal, because if you're coming from an emotional state, you lose in business. Right. So you always want to come from a strategic standpoint. You always want to keep your emotions, even if you're not happy with their decision in terms of that raise. All right.
And if they
Uh,
say no, don't be afraid to walk
yeah,
away. Right.
true. True.
Don't be afraid to walk away. As
Sometimes, yeah.
as they say, know your worth. Right. Know
Yeah.
when it's time to get up and go.
And no could be very strategic too.
Right.
Once you say no, they could be like, okay, all right, hold on. Or we'll do anything you want. Right. You never know.
Hmm.
Um, so I think the third thing, and this is what I always say, the best time to find a job is when you have a job. So
Hmm.
if they're not giving you what you want, go apply for other positions to see what your value is out there. Maybe you are being underpaid. Maybe you see these other companies offering a lot more money. Sometimes it's very hard to get the money and the raise that you want for your company. So you got to go somewhere else to get
Hmm.
that. And people are looking for someone like you, your talent, your organizational fit. They're going to pay you for that. Even if they have to overpay the market sometimes, they're going to pay for that. So sometimes it's much easier to get what you want somewhere else. So just
Right.
something to think about as well. And then the fourth one is a shout out to Karen Civil. She's a famous social media and digital marketing strategist, and she's from my birth town of Elizabeth, New Jersey. So I had to shout her out on this one. Okay,
Hmm.
so her motto is never step over $1 to pick up a nickel.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say that one more time.
Hmm.
Never step over $1 to pick up a nickel. I'm just gonna let it marinate right there. I'm not even gonna even address that one. That's
Okay,
such a
are we
great
going to church?
quote.
Okay, what we doing? We going to
No,
church?
no,
Okay, I thought you
no,
was
but I
going to
mean,
get start preaching for a second. Okay,
no doubt, no doubt. Collection plate is going around right now in the church,
yeah,
so
you start the organs.
no problem. Yeah. So she also said this too, Duncan, which is interesting. She said, in a male-dominated industry, she said, expect to work twice as hard for the same opportunities. Okay,
Hmm.
but never undersell your value. Just keep working, keep pushing, and make your own opportunities happen. So you just can't really worry about someone else giving that opportunity to you. So I thought that was really interesting from Karen Civil. She's super famous. A lot of people know her from her affiliation with the late great Nipsey Hussle. Beats by Dre acquisition and deal,
Mm.
Other acts as well, and hip hop and the media entertainment. So again, these are some of my thoughts. What do you think about that as we wrap up this discussion for Amani?
No, I think that no, I think that it is definitely a very important, right? And I think that Karen Civil's comment was
Mm-hmm.
definitely on point, right? But like there's just a lot of things when it comes to salary negotiations. So that's why I say it's important for you to hire an expert.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, Amani, I don't know if he helped you. I think we gave you some jewels to think about. Sometimes, you just need to bounce off ideas. So we're here to do that. I'm glad that we actually came across your email and that you actually emailed us. So hopefully this was helpful. You're not the only one going through this. This is a problem that's more institutionalized in a lot of ways. That's a bigger fight, that we're all continuing to fight for at this time. Okay, so hang in there. Keep your head up. I think things will change for you. Just create your own value, create your own opportunities. Follow those words of Karen Civil. I think you'll be okay. All right.
Right, and
Yeah.
definitely. And so I guess really just leave you these parting words, because
Hmm.
there's just a lot of things when it comes to salary negotiation that you just want to keep in mind, right? If they say no, keep negotiating, or
Yes.
go somewhere else. That's going to find you a new salary. Don't make threats, right? Don't, because if you're not looking to walk out that front door, you still have to work with these individuals. So you want to make
Right.
sure that once again that you're showing your value and you're not threatening the company, because then they're going to be looking at hiring another individual, right? And believe me, those confidential job posts are real, right?
For
I've
real.
seen recruiters post confidential job posts. Sometimes not just because they don't want the company to get a flood of calls, but they
Right.
posted those because they're already aligning and assuming that they're going to replace you, and so they keep those. They keep those job postings confidential, so you won't know that they're looking for the next best person. So definitely, you don't want to make threats when it comes to salary negotiation. You want to go in there with as much information as possible. Not only about your professional accolades that you have brought to the company, what you're going to do in the future, but also doing the research on what other people are making in your arena. If there are other job postings out there, how much are they paying? What's the compensation plan for the company that you're currently at? So it's definitely tough. Listen, I feel your struggle, right? And I'm not
Hmm.
a once
Definitely.
again I'm not a woman, so I can't feel it to that extent. But I definitely know what it's like being being qualified black, and in the workplace. So
Yeah.
we wish you the best. Definitely check us out at www.mercercountyworks.com. We're one of the fastest local growing job engines in the state of New Jersey. So if you are looking for employment, that's definitely that's definitely the
Well,
place.
yeah. Well,
The place
yeah.
the place to go to.
Definitely. All right. Well, we about to head out, everybody. Hope your lunch break is good. I need to put some food in my system. I'm in Qatar, so this is not lunch break for me. This is actually dinner time. All right.
Mm.
So a little bit different, but we're all gonna eat. We're all gonna break bread. Enjoy your week. Hope it's starting off very well. Dunk, take them away. All
Yes,
right.
sir. Well, once again, we say thank you. Join us next Monday at 12 p.m. Also, check
Yep.
us out this Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the
Hmm.
Rise and Grind Show. We're going to have a topic on diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is going to be an awesome show. We
Hmm.
have actually a panelist from across really across the country from I think
Yeah.
we have one panelist from Italy, so in
Yes.
different
Yes.
countries as well. So we look forward to having you there. If you
Hmm.
have questions, your career questions that you'd like to be answered on Mailbox Monday, you can email us at mailboxmonday@mercercountyworks.com. All right, we look forward to seeing you again. Peace.
Oh, hey there. My name is Tim Murphy. Stop what you're doing right now and give me 10 seconds. I have something really important to share with you. Now, you're probably not happy with your job, and they probably aren't paying you the money that you deserve. Let me tell you about MercerCountyWorks.com. They're the #1 fastest growing job engine in New Jersey. And unlike Monster, Career Builder, and Glassdoor, Mercer County Works connects directly with employers to get your resume in front of decision makers. Okay, stop looking at me and go to mercercountyworks.com right now and upload your resume today.